You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
It's Friday, the Friday before Christmas, but also the Friday before our Miami Dolphins play or take on the Dallas Cowboys. Before we get into all of that, all the fun and festivities on this latest episode of Go Time Dolphins, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us a follow over on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. That's what I always forget. All the social medias, and you're feeling generous around this Christmas time, give us a subscription on Patreon/Go Time Dolphins. But as always, joined by Mr. Charlie Touche. How are you?
This is Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, Kadeem. We're ready. What week is it? 16? It's week 16.
Yeah.
Got the Dallas Cowboys in the all-narrative game of the week. Dolphins haven't beat a team over 500. Dallas can't beat a good team, whatever you want to call it, or on the road. Can't beat a good team on the road. I'm going to just get everything out the way real quick. None of that matters. It's week 16. This is where the football season starts. If you were 14-1 right now, Kadeem, the Dolphin fans would be like, none of that matters. You gotta wait till you get to the playoffs. You could have beat 14 teams over 500, and they'll still say none of it matters. So it's funny how it matters now when you haven't beat a team over 500, because it's always going to change, right? Like, oh well, you haven't beat a team over 500, and then if we win this week, it's going to be, oh well, you only beat one team. You know what I'm saying? So it's always going to be something there to argue about, rap about, and just trip about. And now the rubber hits the road, and I cannot wait.
I'm just looking at a certain team's record. Give me 2 secs as my internet takes an age to find baiting information.
Hey, shout out to John Walker said no audio. Can you hear me, Kadeem?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can. Hey, you know what, John Walker? I don't know if you could read lips, but try to unmute the volume. That used to happen to me all the time in the music studio. Like, yo, I ain't got no volume, but I didn't turn the volume up. Shout out to John Walker for rocking with us, though.
2 secs. This is why I love the internet. I can't even spell right now. There we go. Save that. Charlie, what do you think?
Oh, communication. Let's see what we got. Let's see if he catches up with us. I like it, Kadeem. Kadeem, for all the audio listeners, Kadeem made a banner just for John Walker in the comments and said, try unmuting the volume. Now, I ain't gonna lie, someone could take that offensive if they just read it. But we're trying to send a smoke. We're trying to send a smoke signal.
We are another smoke signal. So the Denver Broncos are 500. They're 7-7. So obviously, I get it above 500, but listen, the Dolphins have got to do what they've got to do over the next 3 weeks, starting with Dallas this weekend. Charlie, it's not just the Dolphin season technically on the line, it's yours as well. Because if we're talking about banners, this is the important one. 6-8. You can give that look all you want. Charlie, you're 6-8.
You're not saying nothing.
No.
Cue the music.
Cue the music. Okay, cool. Understand, if you lose this week, that's it, you're done. You're done. There's no tweet about it. You're done.
This is it. I was trying to get Johnny Walker up here. You know what I'm saying? But we all right.
We are. Listen, it also means we got to do a few more things as well. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's bring this up. Probably for next season, we need a 40-second go time Dolphins timer.
Oh, with the logo.
That's what we need, and just counting down. So, Charlie, you ready for this one?
Yep. Always ready.
So, and just so I don't know, like, I will be as crystal clear as possible. So, I'm giving you it in Celsius. Sunday at 4:00.
Yep.
It is 24 degrees Celsius. Your time starts now.
24, 32, 24, 48, 70. Let's save the playoffs and go with 76 degrees Fahrenheit.
76 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's close that. We don't need that no more. Let's bring back our lovely thing. And your final answer is 76, correct?
76. I want to go to decimals, but I'm happy with 76.
76. 7 and 8. 7 and 8.
Listen, man. Listen. Look, I had you lose to the Titans from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a game, you get a game, and you lose it to the Titans, and you're like, yo, I wish I could have that back. I wish I could have a couple of them back, Kadeem. It's a difference between 7 and 8 and 9 and 6. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a really work that out as well. You can just move the ones over. Listen, 7 and 8. Charlie might make the playoffs. Might.
We're going. We're on to something here.
In terms of the injury report, Friday's injury report isn't out yet. I know Coach McDaniel has given his press conference with a few updates, so I'll go by the injury report and then what Mike McDaniel has said. So on Thursday, Devon Achane, Teron Armstead, Tyreek Hill, and Xavier Howard were limited in practice. Friend of the podcast, Robert Hunt, friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, and Raheem Mostert did not participate on Thursday. And then limited were Liam Eichenberg, Deshaun Elliott, friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, Kader Kohu, Emmanuel Ogba, Cam Smith, Durham Smythe, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Lester Cotton was on the injury report. He was a full participant. For the Cowboys, of note, Brandon Cooks was a full participant on Thursday. He was limited on Wednesday. Stephen Gilmore was also a full participant on Thursday. He was limited on Wednesday. Same with DeMarcus Lawrence. Zach Martin, the guard, did not participate. Tyron Smith, the tackle, did not participate. So a few injuries for the Cowboys. Very quickly, Jalen Ramsey said he is not expected to travel with CeeDee Lamb. So it probably means that Xavier Howard is going to play. Friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, is stretching, but he's not taking part in team activities right now. He's looking unlikely. And I believe Hill and Achane should be good to go this weekend. That is it with me for the injury report. Charlie, what do you have for fantasy?
If you're in a fantasy football league that has, all right, I'm not going to take no shots at nobody, but it's the championship week in a lot of fantasy football leagues because some leagues don't play week 18 because of the insignificance for some players. Some players might be sitting, some players might be, the season's done in essence, and then now coaches take players out because there's no reason to play them in the last week of the season. So a lot of fantasy football playoffs are this week. Championships, I'm sorry. And who better to have in your lineup than the cheater himself in Tyreek Hill? You got to start Tyreek Hill. You got to start Waddle. I am starting Mostert, and just because of Achane's ability to put up 30 points out of nowhere, I'm starting Achane. I cannot sit Achane if I have him on my team. So maybe he's a flex. but you got to start A-Chan. Most is going to give you an anytime touchdown, guaranteed. And the question is, do you start Tua? And my answer is, who else do you have on your team? So if we're talking about who do I start, Tua or Dak? That's a pretty good question right now. I'm going to say start them both. Here's why. You have both offenses, the best two offenses in the league, right? They're playing each other. There's a world, and we'll get into this with easy money, where the game goes under because of it. But it's fantasy football. You want to be on the right side of history, and if both of these boys go off, you want to be a part of that. Last week they both didn't go off. I think Dak gave you 6 points and Tua gave you 12, and then you were stuck. So if you got Dak and Tua, they're both gonna do good, or they're both gonna wet the bed in fantasy football. So start the Dolphins defense. Let's go ahead and start Jason Sanders this week. On the other side of the ball, other side of the ball, you're gonna start Dak. You're gonna start CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if you want to start Pollard, but it's the playoffs. You got to go with your big guns. Don't get too cute. Start Pollard. Hope for the best. Do not start Cowboys defense. That's where I'm at.
What about Cowboys kicker? You said start Jason Sanders, but the Cowboys have a kicker on them.
Oh, yeah. No. You got to start a kicker. I don't even know dog name.
You don't even know why?
Hey, I think it starts with an A. Like I forget what it is, but
Brandon
I know
Aubrey.
Dog, dude is a dude. You got to start the Cowboys kicker, bro. Like, matter of fact, Cowboys kicker is the first kicker off the board in the draft next year. When it comes to round 15, 16, and you're going kickers and defense, don't take Aubrey in round 12 because he's the best kicker. Take him at the end. He's one of the best kickers in the league right now.
Did you know he used to play football, as in soccer?
Yes. So
he's a dude.
Listen, and he wasn't even playing, bro. He wasn't even like in the league. They like, hey, let's see what you got. And now dude is like the best kicker in the league.
Listen, that's crazy. Let's get rid of the music. Thanks for everyone joining us in the live so far. Shout out to Robert Ashton. Says, hi guys, can't stay driving from work soon. Dan Watt says, what's good? I'm always good over here. Charlie, I assume, is the same. Robert Ashton said, just wanted to say hi. We appreciate that. Tim Cabot says, hi guys, I got A-Chan in one league, was going to start him. And then Tim Cabot says, he's the soccer guy who hit the crossbar twice from kickoff. Listen, Brandon Aubrey sound like a dude. Like, to go from playing professional football to the NFL, like, that's impressive. Shout out to Moya TV as well. What's up, Moya TV? So,
hey, shout out Moya, shout out Tim, shout out Rob, shout out Dan, John Walker. I hope you got your audio fixed. You said there was no audio. And listen, I used to make music. I used to go to the studio, fire up the studio. It's like starting a helicopter. You got to hit the power. You got to hit this, get this right. I'm clicking all these buttons, and next thing you know, I don't have no audio. And it's usually the easiest things when you start troubleshooting. Unmute, volume up. Okay, we got audio. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully John Walker got his audio right. Shout out for everybody else in the comments.
It's a crazy one. What's also crazy is this matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. Like you said earlier, Dolphins are yet to beat anyone over 500 so far this season, and the Cowboys are a bad road team. You would think that it's not an easy win for Miami, but the odds are in their favor. And I think they started the week, was it like a minus 2.5 favorite against the Cowboys? I think it was.
I thought it was minus 1.5. I thought the Dolphins were favorite minus 1.5. I don't know where it opened at, but I know it kind of settled around 1.5.
So with that being said, what do you make of this matchup for the Dolphins?
Well, let's go to the paper. Even though games aren't played on paper, Kadeem, Dolphins have the number one scoring defense, the number one total defense, number one in sacks, number one in yards per play defense, third in rushing defense, fourth and third down defense, sixth in passing defense. This is where you need all of these numbers to jump up off the page and present themselves in real life. I appreciate friend of the podcast, Bradley Chubb, for showing up against the paper planes and against teams that don't matter. But these are the games that matter now. And it's when I say one game at a time, Kadeem, we on this podcast, we talk about all everything. You know what I'm saying? And Coach McDaniel said this week, if anybody comes at you with anything other than Dallas, tell them to F off respectfully. That is what quote, tell them to F off respectfully, end quote. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where we at, Kadeem. And I'm gonna say one more time, because I said it on the last episode. Every win from now on, you clinch something. So if you win this week, if you're the Miami Dolphins, you clinch a playoff spot. If you win next week, you clinch the division. If you win the week after that, you clinch the 1 seed. Then you have a bye, and if you win after that, you clinch. I'm sorry, the divisional round playoff. Hopefully, we don't fumble like I just did. If you win after the divisional round playoff, you clinch the AFC championship. And obviously, we know what happens after you clinch the AFC championship. You clinch the Super Bowl. So this is the epitome of one game at a time, because every single game has implications starting today. Did they have implications before, Kadeem? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Can me and you argue about, oh, it didn't matter, it didn't matter? Yes. But it is this is it. Michael Jackson. This is it.
Of all Michael Jackson albums to name, that's a crazy one. This is it. I was thinking about this the other day because we are fans, but we're fanatics. We have a Dolphins podcast, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, as a group of players together, the haven't really been here in terms of like, obviously they made the playoffs last year, but they snuck in the back door, and before anyone even noticed that they were there, they got kicked back out. First week loss. But this is a group of players, or as individuals, who have played in some of the biggest games at either the college level or the NFL, or in the NFL. Tyreek Hill is a Super Bowl winner. Mike McDaniel, as a coach, has been on multiple teams that have made it to the Super Bowl. Tua and Jalen Waddle, as has Christian Wilkins, have won national championships. Like, they know what needs to happen in clutch situations. And I think it's something we don't speak about often. Again, shout out to Chris Greer for making and assembling this roster. But I think that's important, because obviously it's 1 week at a time. And when you have players who have maybe not together as this group, but who have been in similar locker rooms, I think it makes a massive, massive difference. And that's when you can start looking at people and leaning on people and going, okay, do you know what? Yeah, too much. Remember what it was like, in the playoffs or before that, all that kind of stuff. It's so important. And especially against this Dallas team, they've got some really, really good players, but they kind of on the road, they don't play as well. And I think you have to take advantage of that. You need to not be cute. Essentially, like you said, it's every game now means something in terms of clinching something. And the time for mistakes, that's gone. The time for not getting plays called, quickly enough, that's gone. Like, now is the time where every single thing needs to be a finely tuned guitar or finely tuned car, whatever you want to use as an example. So it should be interesting. It should be really interesting. And I think before I pass it back over to you, the type of tour we get can be really interesting given the kind of week he's had.
Listen, I'm thinking you're talking about Salty Tua when you said the kind of week he's had. Is that what you're talking about?
It was, yeah.
All right, before we go into Salty Tua, listen. There are teams who perform well in the regular season. They go into the playoffs and wet the bed. So you can win 12 games, 13 games, 11 games, and then be a force to be reckoned with, and then you make the playoffs and then you don't show up. And vice versa, there are teams that barely make the playoffs barely make the playoffs, that don't look like they're going to be a problem, and then win a Super Bowl. It happens. That's why none of this stuff matters. When everybody was saying they want to see this, they want to see that, we're not this, we're not that. Contender, pretender, the Dolphins are this. We haven't seen it yet. Listen, I understand. Everybody's entitled to everything they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Everything they want to say. But at the same time, the proof is in the pudding. And we need to find out where that came from, Kadeem. The proof is in the pudding. Because there's no more proof than going up against teams that will decide your fate. All the Buffalo talk, oh, Buffalo's going to win the division if we lose and then they beat us. None of that matters if you win. You and all the cliches, let's bring them all out. You're in control of your own destiny. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I'm ready, Kadeem. Salty Tua is ready. And last year we had a team that made the playoffs without Tua starting against Buffalo. And everyone and their grandparents said, yo, if Tua would have played, we would have beat Buffalo. Charlie Touche said, if friend of the podcast, Brandon Jones, would have played, we would have beat Buffalo. That game was a nail biter. And one can argue Coach McDaniel cost us that game with a 4th and 1 that turned into a 4th and 5 because he didn't get to play in on time. So Skylar Thompson almost beat the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. And everyone was like, yo, this team just turned up, for lack of better phrases. That's what the kids say back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So this team turned up without Tua and almost beat the Bills. Almost isn't good enough. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. But we almost beat the Bills. And because of that, yeah, think about that, Kadeem. Let it process. So because of that, we know when we get to the playoffs, it's a different type of football.
Yeah, definitely. The proof is in the pudding comes from an older expression, which is the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So basically, things must be judged by trying them yourself or seeing them in action rather than on other factors. So that makes a bit more sense. But even so, that's where it comes from. Obviously, with the injury to our offensive line, you would assume that, barring no setback, there's going to be left tackle to Armstead. Will be Lester Cotton at left guard, Liam Eichenberg at center, right guard. No, who's the left guard? Keon Smith. Is it Keon Smith? Or is it Lam?
I can't tell you, bro. Probably Kendall Lam.
Probably Kendall Lam at left guard, Connor Williams at center, Lester Cotton at right guard, and then Fender Podcast, Austin Jackson at right tackle. With those five guys I just mentioned, are you worried about what Micah Parsons could do to this team?
No, I'm not worried about what Micah Parsons can do to this team. I'm worried about the O-line holding up. Forget Micah Parsons. He's only one man. I'm worried about the entire O-line, bro. This is just inconvenient to have the worst O-line lineup this week. The worst lineup you could possibly put on paper start a game this year or this season is this week. The timing is atrocious. So I'm concerned, not just about Micah Parsons, but just about the magnitude of this game and the fact that this is when you need it the most. So I am concerned, but I'm not here to put excuses on the table like, oh, well, if we had an O-line, or oh, if our O-line was better, or oh, we got people hurt, we would have won. Nah, I'm not here for that either. You got to figure out a way. Dolphins got to figure out a way. This is what we went with. This is what we're going with, and you got to be you have to be resilient and find a way. What Coach McDaniel say? Adversity is a privilege. Is that what he says?
Possibly. Is that something he would say? So yeah.
What about you?
No, because I think the Dolphins can scheme around. The Dolphins and Mike McDaniel can scheme around. Really talented pass rushers. Done it last week against the paper plate. Also, get the paper plane, and they've kind of been doing it all season. That's not to say that we've had a banged up O-line all season, but it's definitely a matter of we get the ball out so quickly that it shouldn't really matter. It's more about our wide receivers and running backs doing what they need to do in open space and stuff like that. We saw what Buffalo done to Dallas last week and just ran the ball down the throats. I would not be surprised if this game is a heavy dose of Raheem Mostert, Devon Achan, and Chris Brooks. And so, listen, we just saw you guys fail to stop the run. Here you go again. If you can stop the run, cool. We'll use Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. But if you can't stop the run, then we're going to run the ball down your throat, and we're going to, basically get out of here and enjoy Christmas. And before you say anything, talking about enjoying Christmas, if you found $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk past it. So don't pass up on a chance at an easy cash with my bookie. MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs anytime, anywhere. So you can turn that sports knowledge into cash in your wallet. Bet on the NFL, college bowl games, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, that time is now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at MyBookie, use promo code GOTIME and claim your deposit match redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code GOTIME to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And for all of our people watching on YouTube, the promo code is at the bottom. MyBookie, or promo code GOTIME at mybookie.ag.
Shout out to MyBookie.
Tim Caro says in the comments, adversity is an opportunity. He says, I think Cowboys have injuries at linebacker, so have safeties there, hence one of them all day long. And that wouldn't surprise me. Like, we didn't discuss it, and to be fair, we're not a Buffalo Bills podcast, but I'll ask you very quickly. What did you make of Cook going off against Dallas and Sean McDermott giving the game ball to Josh Allen, who had like 7 completions?
So I don't know if it was only one game ball. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was multiple game balls, because I know a lot of teams give out multiple game balls. So yeah, I know the internet caught a clip of that, and yeah, I just can't believe that there was only one game ball and Josh Allen got it. So I'm not gonna take a clip. Like I said, you know how I feel about 30 seconds and the internet running with it. Hey Tim, it is adversity is an opportunity, right? And I think I pulled my best Kadeem impression and mixed up 2 quotes. And I think one is pressure is a privilege. And I don't think that's McDaniel, but I think I mixed them both up. And I said adversity is a privilege. So shout out to me impersonating Kadeem. But nah, man. What did you think about the game ball thing?
So like Tim says, so Tim reckons they gave out a few. Cook got one, I think. But yeah, I saw people say, well, Josh Allen had the ball in his hand and had to hand it off to Cook, so well done. It's like, listen, let's not do that. I saw people joking around saying Allen got a game ball for not throwing an interception, which was quite funny, like he snapped a streak or something dumb like that. But yeah, I'm sure it's a matter of if only one got given out and one only got given out to Josh Allen, it might be a case of trying to boost his confidence. But it's also like it sounds like something a coach who knows is probably on his way out would do. But we'll see. It is what it is.
McDermott ain't going nowhere unless they want to start handing us these divisions championships, and then they could get rid of McDermott. But
yeah, you would assume as long as Buffalo made the playoff, he'll get at least another year. There've been a lot of
them headphones kind of dope that you got, bro.
Oh, these ones?
Yeah, bro. Not the Coach K's. Not the Coach K's.
I can't wait to start using our new microphone heads. But I just need to get them sorted out. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Bro, you said a streak. But go ahead. I was going to get into something else, but go ahead. You can finish.
I was going to say no. Tim Caro said yes. Think that was you hitting the nail on the head of the coffin.
Crazy, ain't it, Tim? hitting the nail on the head of the coffin. That's a classic. That is the epic Kadeem quote mess up that I've ever heard, bro. Like hitting the nail on the head of the coffin, bro. Like that is, we might have to get that printed.
I think I was just being, extra. Listen, that's what happens. But you was gonna say something, or you?
Yeah, man. Tua hasn't thrown a pick in 3 games.
Don't
we
let it
keep that
start.
alive.
Yeah. Oh, I would like to think so. I think you when you're speaking to average white guy, if after this episode, go back and check out our last episode. What an episode! Loved it. But you were talking about once you get into playoffs, and it's about turnover differential and stuff like that. This is one of those games where you would assume if the Dolphins can win the turnover battle, they win that game. Literally just have to look after the ball, and that from everyone. Listen, Tua hasn't thrown an interception in 3 games. Moto hasn't fumbled in a few games, so keep it up. We have plenty of running backs with the addition of Chris Brooks now back on the team, who can tote the rock, who can pick up the hard yards. I'm not saying once we get to the red zone, be extra conservative and just run the ball, but at the same time, I don't want to see fades to Tyreek Hill in the red zone. Like let's just don't do it.
McDaniel called himself out, saying I made some stupid play calls. You know what I'm saying? I love accountability. Maybe some women could take, you know what I'm saying? But listen, oh bro, I gotta send you this clip, this reel from like Instagram about women and accountability. It's so good. Shout out to all the GTD ladies out there. But listen, yeah, we've been taking care of the ball lately, and I just don't see how teams don't jump routes when it comes to it. Everyone knows Tua is going to get the ball out of their hands, and actually I can, because I actually said it. Because if you jump routes, Tyreek Hill is going to run by you, right? So you can't, or Jalen Waddle is going to run by you. So man, I'm just excited to watch this game. I don't have any expectations. I'm not going into this game like, oh, this should happen. I should see this from this person. I better see this, and we better do that. None of that. I'm watching this game. Just let me see what I get. And I really don't know what's gonna happen. Is it too early to get into predictions, Kitty?
No, not at all. Just very quickly, Tim Carroll says yes. Get some GTD t-shirts with that quote on them, and then Miami Dolphins content says fins up. And yeah,
Fins
listen,
all the way up.
Fins all the way up, 100%. If you're here live with us and you haven't said hello yet, drop a hello, drop a Merry Christmas, drop anything you want. If you're watching after the fact, again, do the same, drop a hello. I'm going to very quickly check Twitter to see if anyone has commented on Twitter. No, but Jalen Phillips has posted saying, "This is my girlfriend's business, vintage fits by on Instagram. Check it out." Cool, very nice to know.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering, and after all these years, you like to me to go over everything. All right, let me stop. Bro, that's such a good song, bro.
I'm not an Adele fan.
Bro, listen, when I was in England, I had took a picture in the, y'all telephone, you're just historic telephone booths, you know what I'm saying? And I had to put the caption, hello. You feel me? Like Adele, the booth, it was perfect, bro. It was perfect.
Give me 2 secs. But no, we can get into predictions. We should definitely do this more often. Take advantage of what we have over here on StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. Dolphins v Cowboys predictions. Charlie, we'll let you go first. What do you have?
Man. All right, let's go to the Lions. The game line right now is Miami -1.5. And the game over under is 50. I don't know. We want to start this thing off with me. I think there's a chance that this game goes under, surprisingly. I think they're 2 of the best offenses in the league. And I think the Dolphins defense shows up. I think Dallas makes it tough on the road. It's like we have this built up anxiety thinking this is going to be a track meet and this game is going over 50, which is very possible that we have the first game of the season against the Chargers. And this is one of those back and forth games. And Tua can't go back and forth with this could be it. And I could be completely wrong, and there could be 50 points in the first half. But I just think this is going to look more like playoff football. It's going to be, I don't want to say low scoring, but not a lot of points. I guess it's low scoring. And unfortunately, I think Miami loses, Kadeem. I think Miami loses. Let's put a number on it. Kicker hits 3 field goals because he's the best kicker in the league right now. 2 touchdowns, maybe. Yeah. I'm going to go 23-17 Dallas. I think the Dolphins lose. I think the Dolphins lose this game. And news flash, you know what I'm saying? Not news flash, but what's it called? When you spoiler alert. I think the Dolphins lose this game 23-17, and then they go on to beat Baltimore and the Bills. And all is well in the land of Miami. I believe that happens. I don't want to see it like that, because if the Dolphins lose this game, just know it's gonna be all kind of pandemonium and pressure busting pipes in Miami, and like, oh no, this is the collapse, the epic fall. This happens to us all the time, and so I really hope we don't lose this game. But if I'm giving you my best feeling, I think it's gonna be a lot of pressure, and I don't know if we answer the bell, but I hope I'm wrong.
So I've got a similar score, but the other way round. I've got 27-17 to the Dolphins. I think it's going to be close. I think it's a lot of good defense. I just think our run game is going to be too much, and our defense at the moment, like, that can do what he wants with the ball, but if you've got Ramsey playing the way he is, just it's shutting down one half of the field. Kadeko, who's doing his thing, Xavier Howard doing his thing. You mess around and get Fender Podcast Javon Holland back there as well. And again, this defensive line is giving teams no time to throw. So, a Dallas team that is missing who they missing? Potentially missing the starting guard in Zach Martin and the starting tackle in Tyron Smith. If you're, Fender Podcast, Bradley Chubb, Zach Sealer, Christian Wilkins, aka Salt and Pepper, Emmanuel Ogbar, like Andrew Van Ginkel. Listen, these guys are ready to play right now. So I think the Dolphins get it done. We'll go from there.
I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem, you just said the Dallas Cowboys O-line was banged up. Our O-line is banged up too.
It is, but in terms of I just think we play like O-line or no O-line, we still get the ball out really quickly. I don't think Dallas will be able to do that. And I just think, our defensive line over the last few weeks just been an absolute unit. So shout out to Tim Caro. Listen, love all the comments so far, Tim. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. He says, for me, Titans' issue was all the issue before the last 3 minutes. Fumbles, snaps, special teams, stupid penalties, play calls that cost us that game. Jets game had cleaned up lots of that. Need that again. And I just think I also think Dallas have clinched the playoffs, but haven't they?
Yeah, I don't know. No. Have they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they clinched it last week.
I thought the only 2 teams that clinched was 49ers and Baltimore, but I could be wrong.
No, they did. The Cowboys clinched playoff spot for the first straight season.
So the Eagles clinched too?
I believe so. Let's double check that as well. Eagles as well, yeah.
Bro, this is where we really need Coach McDaniel to just say, yo, just, and I'm not going to invoke the name of our previous coach, but this is where some fans thought, well, is McDaniel going to be able to command the locker room? And is he going to be able to take charge of such and such, such and such? This is where I need Coach McDaniel to hammer home. It's a 1-game season right now. That is it. This is the only game that matters. And you get this win, a lot of things change. You know what I'm saying? And I really need that to be a point of emphasis, because then you can say the same thing next week. And it's from now on, it's 1-game seasons for the rest of the. And if you missed it, I'll say it again. You clinch a playoff spot if you win this week. You clinch the division if you win next week. You clinch the first seed, the 1 seed, if you win the week after that. You clinch the divisional championship after that. You clinch the AFC championship after that. You clinch the Super Bowl. These are the last 6 games of the season. Imagine if I told you, yo, the Dolphins got 6 games left, and this could be the scenario. Like, you don't care who you're going to play against. Let's do it. Like, this, it's up to us. We got to get it done. All that stuff we did in the off season, this is what it comes down to. I'm going to get into the pick of the week. Easy money pick of the week. I had some options, Kadeem. We got Tua with a sweet line for over a touchdown and a half. Passing touchdown and a half from Tua at -166. Listen, this is you. I wish we had the facts in front of us, because I want to say we took Tua over a touchdown and a half maybe 10, 11 times this season. And he's only, the times we took him, he's only let us down once, maybe, or twice. So you would think we would go back to the well and say, yo, let's just take the 2-1.5 and live with it. I don't like it, Kadeem. I feel like the past few weeks, Coach McDaniel has taken the ball out of Tua's hands in the red zone. Even the Jalen Waddle touchdown was from 66 yards out, right? So I don't know if we see Tua going over a touchdown and a half 2 times in these last 3 weeks. If he does, cool, and I hope we get W's out of it. But I think this is more, hey, look, forget the stats. Forget MVPs. Forget the accolades. The numbers are what the numbers are. If you're not the quarterback with the most passing yards in the league, most touchdowns, most completions, whatever, we're not going to get it this year. We'll look for it next year, but we're not looking for nothing like that now. And it's so hard not to take this line. And I know I'm rumbling, but it's so hard not to take this line because it's a touchdown and a half. You think, yo, we're going to need some touchdowns to beat Dallas. But there's a line here that I really like, that is really, I don't want to call it dangerous, but it's not wise to take this line. And it's -130. Raheem Mostert, anytime touchdown. Everyone knows Raheem Mostert has broke the franchise record in touchdowns in a season. Why would we not take this Raheem Mostert anytime touchdown? And you know what, Kadeem, you're not a betting person. So I'm going to ask you, just plain and simple, what's more likely to happen? Raheem Mostert scoring a touchdown or Tua throwing over 2 touchdowns, over a touchdown and a half this week?
Genuinely, it's funny because you asked me that before Chris Brooks returns. I probably would have said Raheem Mostert. The Dolphins now have an extra running back, although I don't think they'll use Chris Brooks in the red zone. I think the answer is still Raheem Mostert, but I also think that, like I said, even though we want to be conservative in the red zone, you also got to switch things up. And I think the Dolphins might get cute with like a screen or an RPO in the red zone and kind of see what happens. So I still think it's Raheem Mostert, but I also think Tua is going to get over 2 touchdowns in this game.
Over a touchdown and a half, you mean? Or over 2 touchdowns? Because that's a big difference.
I think he'll get over a touchdown and a half.
Here we are again, undecided. So the official easy money pick of the week is a Raheem Mostert anytime touchdown. But if you want to parlay both of them, go ahead, right ahead. I'm not going to say nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's rock with the Raheem Mostert anytime touchdown is the pick of the week.
Cool. Tim Caro says red zone running is the right way to go, but less TDs for Tua. And then says the running in the red zone change. That means a double bluff coming. Ingold receiving touchdown.
Hey, listen, I can't bet on Ingo. I abandoned the Ingo anytime touchdown. I was supposed to abandon it at week 9. I think I abandoned the Ingo touchdown at like week 6. Like, this is not gonna happen. So if it happens for someone out there, cool. But you gotta know when to cut the losses, and I cut them off at like week 6.
Yeah, definitely. Ready to head into bonus time?
Let's get it. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Question for you.
Answer.
Do we see the second debut of Ndamukong Suh against the Cowboys?
Did we sign him?
Oh, snap. We didn't sign him. We just brought him in. Why do I think we signed him?
Yeah,
Yo, I'm tired.
I
I'm
don't think
tired.
we signed him. So no, we
know.
won't see it. But we could switch up the question because you kind of invoked the name Chris Brooks. I'm like, well, Chris Brooks wasn't really taking carries away from Mostert before either, and I still think we want to unlock Achane. So I don't think we're gonna see much of Chris Brooks unless the game gets out of hand and we could like, oh, let's use this toy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is fun. But Chris Brooks' availability in December and January at 6'3", 235 pounds is why the Dolphins got Chris Brooks. Because no one's going to want to tackle that. Yeah, it's a home game. It's in Miami, Florida. But when we go to Baltimore, and if we got to go to cold city games, cold weather games, and you got this Derrick Henry-sized dude running at you downhill, fresh legs, no one's going to want to tackle that. So we have a weapon in Chris Brooks, undrafted from BYU. And I'm going to say it like I said in the preseason. I can't wait to see him. I knew we had something, bro, and I can't wait till we unlock Chris Brooks.
Yeah. So Tim Caro says Brooks more like Ingo, the blocking in front of a speedster. I think we might see a few backfields of Ingold and Brooks, and basically saying to the Cowboys, we're actually going to pass in this situation, but have 2 extra blockers. I think for the Jalen Waddle touchdown, they had max protection, and obviously Alex Ingold was blocking. But I can see a situation where, you know, and the thing with Brooks as well, as a running back, you know, especially, I guess maybe in the red zone, but like just before you get to the red zone, you're like 20, 30 yards out, having those 2 guys and just saying, you know, we're going to max protect, Waddle, Tyreek Hill, see what you can do. Shout out to IMAX, says, Sup Kadeem, Charlie, and chat. Not getting my notification phone again. I watched a video, it made me think of you, IMAX. It could be a setting actually in your YouTube where you have notifications turned off there. So you might have notifications turned on for Go Time Dolphins, but notifications on YouTube turn off, which means you don't get any notifications. But we appreciate having notifications on. Anyone who does or doesn't, we appreciate you just regardless of being here. After this episode, go check out our last episode with Average White Guy. Also check out, you know, any of our shorts, any of our content on Instagram, on TikTok. You know, just spread the love, spread the word around. Christmas. Charlie, obviously we are back here on Christmas Eve, but I'll ask you very quickly, any plans for Christmas this year?
Nah, no plans.
Fair.
Was there something else? Like I thought you setting that up for something.
No, I was just generally asking what your plans were.
Nah, I ain't got no plans. You got plans?
We're at my parents. No, we're at Hannah Montana's parents for Christmas lunch in the morning, and then my parents in the evening for Christmas dinner. So just a lot of food.
Listen, Go Time Dolphins will be going live Christmas Eve after the game, after the game, right?
Yep.
After the Dolphins hopefully defeat the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to get a reaction episode live Christmas Eve. Man, I can't wait. I was actually going to say something else. Can't remember right now. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
IMAX quickly says, nope, he's getting them on his tablet. It's some funky Android quirk, but I'm at work and my tablet is put away. Hope work is going well. I think that's it for myself and Charlie.
I know what I wanted to say. That last episode, we discussed Mendenhall's ignorant comments about Pro Bowls and kind of some prejudices and racist stuff that he said in on Twitter, and we made an episode out of it, and it was a really, really, really fun episode, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. I watched it back. I was entertained like I'd never seen it. But yeah, man, that's all I got.
No, it was a good episode, and yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, for whatever reason, go back and check it out. And it's a genuine conversation as well. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the last episode. And if you're not joining us over on Patreon for Extra Point, we shall see you on Sunday for the Dolphins Cowboys review, and hopefully it's a Dolphins victory. We shall see you on the next one. Peace.